Hi, everybody. This is Phillip Guan, CPA. So welcome to our classes to teach you how to do the tax. Yesterday, we taught the first classes. So I'm going to review what we have taught yesterday. So I'm going to share the screen. Okay. And in here, yesterday, we are talking about the classes. Okay, let me move this one before I go further. Okay. Anyway, let me just do this. So yesterday, very quickly, we're doing the head of household. For a person who have a kid without married, so have a full-time job, W-2 income. So this is the finished product of that person. The kid information, the W-2, we also double check with all the W-2, all the information, and we green check mark with everything. When you actually do the tax return, normally do is you also, okay, let me make it in this. So in here, I want to share with you the key of this is there is a childcare expenses. We need to write down all this information as well as in here, which just and as well as in the dependent care. Right here, you also need to write down this amount. So this 3,600 childcare amount, you need to input twice. Once in the dependent screen right here. And this year dependent screen, if you using the JTax software, you will notice they are different than 2022. The way they organize are different. So they have 2 tabs. Normally only have 1 tab straight down. So this year have 2 tabs. So you want to make sure you fill out both tabs. Okay. And then also, in the due diligence, you need to answer those questions. As like, I'm not going to go through details. So notice there's no number 2 in there. So the answer in a normal situation is yes, yes, no. And then in this situation, skip, skip. And then yes, yes, yes. And then skip. And in this situation, number A is no or not apply. Either or. So it's actually not applied. It doesn't have a Schedule C. Okay, now, number 9, in this situation, they have the no, yes for all the questions. And then because I had a household, so 14 is, there is no 10, 11, 12, 13, and then this goes straight to 14. Yes. 15, always yes. And then the following questions, in the most part, no, no, yes, yes, no. But it's not always like that. Okay, But in the most part, the cases like that. And then you also need to write down the ID information. Now, if they don't have a driver license, they can use like passport, which is like number 2. Now, the finished product of the tax return is straightforward W2 standard deduction. So the taxable income is only $700. So the tax is 71, and then also offset it. So therefore, the real tax is 0. So this is withholding. And then 27 is the EIN, earned income credit. 28 is additional child tax credit. So they get the refund of 7,695. Any question regarding about yesterday classes? No questions? Okay, good. We are going to go for number 2. Now, number 2, scenario number 2. All those practice questions, they all make up name, make up EIN, make up number, address. They are for illustration purpose. There's no confidential information in here. So it's straight tax software developed it. So I borrow their information to train it. In here, also straight tax software have the video, but in a very short version, like 15 to 20 minutes. Here's a scenario. Now, in this scenario, we are going to continue learn W2. We are going to learn healthcare, which we learn those first 2, we learn it. But I hope this classes W2, then the healthcare have a little more information. We will see. And then we'll learn how to do the interest income and dividend, as well as show the stock. Okay, now. Here's a scenario. I'm going to have, Rudy, are you okay to read it out loud for me?
Yes.
Okay, read it a little louder so that when anybody, so you don't have to be too fast, just like.
Okay.
Okay.
So Bumblebee lived alone in San Antonio, Texas, and has never been married. He is employed full-time as the store clerk at the honey shop. Bumble is the United States citizen and lived in the United States for the entire year. He's not the qualifying child or dependent of anyone else.
Okay. Now, in here, they talk about this person's, what is the filing status? According to this information, what do you think he's going to file? He's going to be filed is single, married, or had a household. What is going to happen? But we don't know yet. We don't whether or not they have a kid yet. We don't see it. We don't see any kid information, right? You don't see any kid information, Ruby, right? So
no, yeah. So it's single status.
So more likely. See, when you answer question, you say most likely, more likely. So what is all of a sudden the information pops up at the end, especially say, oh, by the way, I got a kid. So that way. So most likely or more likely, this is a single person. So now, and do you remember the example 1 is also not married, but also have kids. So this is the person not married. Normally it's a single, it's a full-time. Okay. So now, so it's by himself or by herself. So now in here, Okay, this is driver license information. We don't need to read it out loud. Everybody can see it. Now, in here, could you read this one? The one that I highlighted.
Okay. During 2023, Bumble was employed full-time at the honey shop. He received one Form W-2 from his employer. Attached, he also received interest and dividend income statement attached. In 2023, Bumble sold some stock that he had for 3 years and received Form 1099-B reporting the transaction. He had no interest in or an authority over any foreign account. He also did not receive, sell, exchange, or otherwise acquire any financial interest in any actual currency.
Okay.
Sorry, virtual currency during the year.
Right. Thank you, Rudy. So now in the last two sentence, it looks rare. What am I talking about? Well, it's actually in the tax return. So now let's do it first thing first. Here is a social, right? Obvious, as you can see, those are makeup numbers. Okay. Now, when I go to the tax software, not on this screen, and when you go to close, on this screen, open, paste. So I have this one in the last year. So there. But if you don't have it, you have to input everything. I'm lucky because I have it. So now, normal situation, not necessarily to check all boxes. I like to check all boxes so that I can pretty much carry on what I have choose for specified for these clients. So in this situation, I check everything. Or I can select all or unselect all. Do you see it? I can do this. Or I can check whatever I want to. Now, I hit update. The software is going to transfer the 2022 this kind of information to 2023. Pretty cool. Look, we are in the input screen right now. Okay. Right now, I want to, as you can see, anything is blue or green, there's an input. Anything is straight out black, there's nothing in there from the last year. So the client, if you have it from last year, in most situations, most of the information will be similar as last year or same as last year because Sally. When people tell you, let's do Sally, what is that? What is that? Same as last year or similar as last year. Okay. So now in here, this screen, it gives you opportunity to double check it. This is carry over from last year. So it actually is the same as what we just said, like here, right? So you can kind of right click, remove the frame. So that way, that means you double check it. So in here, if you are inputting the information, you must be very careful. If you are roll it over, most likely they are correct because last year they have been checked, but you should double check one more time. Okay. So the birthday is correct. Now, let me put it side by side. So in order to do side by side, so you open it. Next, on the right side, there's a plus sign. Next to the plus sign, not on the left plus sign. A little bit right on the plus sign. And now your mouse is point there. You hold, you right click on the mouse left side, and then you pull it to the left, And then you see there's a half, let go. Now you can choose whatever window you want to share on your right side. And then we can move pretty good. Like we can actually let me do this one first. Let me get this straight up first. You could get this. You can move when you get there. Sometimes a little bit troubleshoot when go for the very first screen. I can go this way, go reverse. It doesn't get me into. But nevertheless, let me get to here. So side by side, I know it's correct. Now in this side, I could get the minus. I know how to do the left side. I do not know how to do the right side. How to make it small yet. Okay. But right now, we're good. As far as the personal information. Now, in here, as you can see, I changed it to San Francisco zip code. Let me put it back to whatever the example. So this text software is pretty cool. Like here. Just put a zip. Pops. They include counting. That's pretty good. And then the ID, double click in here. The ID was, let me see. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What state is it? It's Texas? Yeah, it is Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
Yeah, Texas. That 0101 2015, something like that. Am I right? 0101 2025. Am I right? If I remember right. In here. It's saying here. Like here. The left side when I highlight it. Obvious. The real driver license expired date and the issue date normally is not the same date because the issue date could be any day unless you go to the, in state of California, the expiry date is on your birthday, right? Unless you are getting your driver license on your birthday. Otherwise, normally the issue date, the date, and the expiry date is not the same day. When you see things, when you review it, you see the same, more likely there may be a mistake. So you need to double check. Okay. So this one, you need to remove it. So we're good in here. And then I remember one of the learning things talking about health insurance, right? Health coverage. Let me see what kind of the health coverage they have. Well, they have a health coverage more likely like from the company. So you don't need to input anything. All you need to do is like here. Check this little box. Say yes, you gotta have. Okay. It used to be have a penalty, but no longer have it right now. So we're done with this. But if they have covered California, but you need to get into in here. Do you see there is a tab called healthcare in the middle? And then the second tab. 95A. That's where you put in all the 1095A. But in the example, say we don't have it. Let's say if they have B, so therefore, so we don't need to input this. Now, let's do the simple thing first. Let's do the W2. Okay, so we done that. So we done this. This is W2. Now, this is the EIN number. The W2. Oh, in fact, they use the same thing, same company, as you can see, right? It's using the same company. So I can actually move this one a little bit in here. So that way we can see the whole thing. We feel pretty good. So now, this is box 1. 40K, right? Box 2, 2900 is further withholding. So in this situation, the example say box 1, 3, and 5, they're the same. What that means is they don't have retirement account, they don't have any P-tax amount, like have saving account, all kinds of things. So now, those numbers are automatically, when you put this box 3 number in, 4 will pops. And sometimes, not all the times, the payroll company make a mistake and they put in a long number in there. So you have to override the number. And then the client will, in the schedule 3, either get the money back or only to pay more. So they will do the calculation for you. Because it's supposed to be state of taxation, taxes, right? Or state of Texas. State of Texas doesn't have a state taxes, okay? But in this example, they don't provide any state information. In my tax software at this moment, the state version is not pops out yet. I just put it in. So now we finish this one. Let me one step at a time. So when you input the information, after you input it, what you're going to do is you double check everything. Okay. So let's double check. You can pull this one up a little bit up here, so that way they kind of like, I normally, if you do this way, they actually can go both sides. You can go down a little bit. So that way to fit in both sides. Now, you do green check mark, single every single thing. Now, as you can see, some is capitalized, some is small letter, and there is a setting you can set up all capital. So today I'm not going to go to the detail for that. Okay. So that way you look all capitals. No matter what, no matter you type a small letter or capital letter, the tax return will all in capital. So this is the W2 in here. So EIN number, company name. Oh, the company name, as you can see, I change it, right? You see, I change it. So, and then this is wrong. So I want to go back to what it looks like as the original. So I need to go back here to change the zip code. Oh, sorry. I probably, I missed a digit. 78201, enter. So now at this moment, the company is right. And then as you can see, the W2, the employees address is wrong because I was changing to state of California, right? So here's the shortcut to do it. Because I already in the number one input screen already changed it. So therefore, all you need to do, just come here. This is a taxpayer, even though they don't have a spouse, but let's click on the spouse first. Now, go back to taxpayer. You click. Now it's change it back. Cool. Now, at this moment, we are having the W2. I want to double check it. So when I see I make a mistake, I come back to change it. As you can see, line is correct. Dun, 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 dun. So it's pretty fun. It's nearly impossible you can make a mistake if you carefully follow systems. Okay. Now we finished W2. We go to the middle, interest income. So go to data entry. You won't be able to input anything in the output screen. The data entry is really good. So we follow sequence. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. And do you see there's two things green now, which means they roll it over from last year, but they also want you to double check. Because last year you have interest income from that bank account or brokerage account, you may not necessarily have it, right? So they already carry over this. See, is from this brokerage firm. Is the EIA number. So the account numbers. So the account number is optional, but it's very useful, especially when you have client have a lot of different accounts. It's good to identify. Now, the interest income is 2,500. Well, in a brokerage firm, have interest in 2,500. They have quite a bit of money in there. Now, this is not dividend. This is interest income from the brokerage firm, not from the bank. This example, they should have like flipped a little bit. So they put the dividend is at the bank. The bank is okay when they do a security, but normally it's the reverse. Is the bank give you interest or the security company give you interest? The dividend normally is a security company. But in this example, they say put in from the bank. We close it. We close it. We go to dividend. Is it like here? Double click in here. As you can see, all the information is already there. I also changed it to California, as you can see last time. So I want to change it back to whatever the example is. Now, as you can see, there's a total ordinary dividend and there's a qualified dividend. Ordinary is on the top in the input screen, 1A, 800. Qualified dividend is 600. So let me ask you this question. This will be a tricky question. How much is this client have in total of the dividend income? Who knows the answer? Is it either 800 or 600 or two of them together, 1,400?
I think you should add all together.
The answer is wrong. What? Try second time. Not add all together.
Oh my God.
I'm asking what is the total dividend income of this person. I also tells you that sum of two of them is wrong. So take a guess. Answer me, you will make yourself more exciting so you can get yourself more into it. You won't make a mistake. Who know the answer? I'll give a try.
800?
The answer is more likely right answer, right? Because it's impossible when you have 600 and 800 and the dividend is the small one. I'm asking you the total. The correct answer is 800. They have total 800 among inside this 800, there are 600 is qualified dividend in tax at the less tax rate. The other 200 tax on higher tax rate. Okay. So, but in order for you to understand what is qualified dividend, what is ordinary dividend, I assign you some homework. You go Google to study. If you still don't understand it, and then you ask me next time. Okay. But you got to ask Google before you ask me for this question. Because it's something you can get it from the Google. Now you also want to remove this. So now the income portion, there are three portions of it. W2, interest income, and dividend income. Do you remember we want to learn 4 things? There's one more thing. Show or the stock. So show the stock. This one. Okay. This is the bank also provide a security service. Okay. This bank also provides a security service and do the normally is like Charles Wall, TD Waterhouse or something like that. So that way. So normally it's not the bank, but sometimes the bank, they have a department right now, they do security. Okay. So what they did is they show some stocks. This is the proceed. This is fair market. They show for. This is purchase prices. Do they make money or do they lose money? Do they make money or do they make money? 8,000 minus 6,500. So how to report it? Okay, in here. We finish the left side. And then I need to go back to number 1 to input some a little bit later. I go to, well, since I'm on this screen, let me finish this one. On the bottom of number 1, we need to check this little box, no and no, from this answer. From this answer, from the very beginning, they say they don't have any foreign income as well as they have no digital virtual currency. Okay. So I answer no in here. Okay, now I finish. And no in here. I don't need to go into detail. Now, if you do not know how to report that, if you happen to have yes, here this software, you click here, there's a short software, like 5 to 10 minutes to show you how to do it. This software is pretty cool. Now, in here, you also write down today's day, where you put it. So this is the code that for my company. So to do e-filing. Okay, so now we finished tab number 1 general. We do from the left to the right. And then we go to tab 2, income. And then we also see from left to the right. Left side, is there anything applied to this client for the income? The answer is no. We don't have anything applied on the left side. On the right side, we are using show the asset, show a stock, like here. They do not have carryover according to information. If they do, it's going to be show up in here, D2. So now this is straightforward, no carryover, and just show a stock like here. Under D, like David, or 89, 49, they go to the same places. You hit either or, they go to the same places. Okay. Double going there. So now, belong to whom? Belong to the taxpayer. Okay. This one, the 1099, the base have been reported to IRS in the 1099. So now, nowadays, the best way to do it is just using the broker's firm. In this situation, is the bank. But let's say Charles Schwab, American Trade, something like that in here. And then you put the EIN of that security company. 1. How many years do we have? So you don't need to count because the EIN number has to be fit in odd numbers, right? Okay. So now we don't know when we buy it, so whereas the show date, the day to show in this tax software cannot be various. It must be have a specific numbers. The acquired day is okay to various, but the show date must be in that year 2023. So in this situation, it's December 31st, 2023. I am using 2023 tax software. So now, because you do not know when you bought it, and you have to be determined, and do they tell you, is it long-term or various? They did not show. Let me see. Did they say, is it 1 year or? Start. How long the stock have been holding? Let me see. Okay, like here. You see the things I highlighted? They bought this stock. They hold it for 3 years, but have been 3 years, but they probably bought in different time 3 years ago. So 1 year or above is long term. It matters, less tax. And then how much is sold for? 8,000, right? Here. How much buy for? Cost basis. So in this situation, there's no what sell, there's no other thing adjustment. That's it, straightforward. We're done for the input of this. So now go to output screen. I want to check the start transaction first. Like here. This is what we just input the output. I just double check it. According to the left side information, I double check my output screen with the green check mark. But if I make a mistake, let's say, if I make mistake in here, let's say all of a sudden, I input it like that by mistake. When I go out to view, I will see the numbers wrong. When I see the numbers wrong, I won't green check mark. Well, the software not that smart to give you a red flag, because I was green check mark it. They change it from the green check mark. They red flag it. They ask me, hey, what's up? Okay, sometimes your keyboard may be hit it by accident or something, and then sometimes it may now the software gave you, hey, the number have been changed. So normally these two number, after you finish input, it shows like this. It doesn't have all this green check mark. It doesn't have it. Doesn't have red flag as well. So what you need to do, you need to green check mark everything. You understand? Whoop! I make a mistake. So I said, shh, I go back here, change it, right? And then go back to here. My input. See, it's good. So this goes to here, schedule D, long term, and go to here, like here. Now, the W2, we just check it. And then, do you remember we have interest income, 2,500? Now, the 2,500 come from where? Come from schedule B, right here. The top of schedule B, part 1 is interest. Part 2 is dividend. Now, the dividend, do you remember I asked you what's the total dividend? It shows up in here. It does not say it's qualified or not qualified. And then where to identify? Well, it's in here. There's a qualified and ordinary. So there's one more places you could go more detail to double check it, especially when you have a lot more interest and dividend. And you go to up here under miscellaneous, interest list. It shows pretty good. And then dividend list, it tells you everything. That's how. Now, after you go to this part, you check everything according to the situation. Are you confident to say you are finished this tax return right? Rudy, do you think we finished this tax return right? Or do we still possibly make any mistake?
Possibly making mistake.
Do we have any possibility of making mistake?
Yes.
No.
Why?
We checked everything. Look at the answer. It's impossible to make a mistake in this one because you check every single things. So now here's the answer. Right here. Here's the answer. Here's the finished tax return, what it looks like. Let's double check it. The top is right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can minus a little bit so that we can see the whole full screen easier. Okay. One page full screen. So you see it? Up to line 15, everything is right, right?
Mm.
Now,
The number, I think number 16 is different. 3425.
number 16?
Yeah.
Number
3, 2,
16, what's the difference? 3, 2.
3,
Oh,
4.
yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Now, up to here,
Mm-hmm.
we are the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
Up to here, we're the same, and then go back to here. Go back to here, the qualified dividend. Dividend interest. There is a tax calculation. It's impossible to make that comes out different because yeah, it's a tax calculation.
3, 2, 4, 5.
Now, the tax law allow you
180 different.
to use this qualified dividend. Do you remember I was telling you the qualified dividend tax was less tax? Do you remember I told you the qualified dividend, $600 of qualified dividend was taxed less? The difference is 200 something. Now, this example is using the normal tax table to figure out the number. And then down here, mine is using the advanced. In the reality, my example is correct. As a tax professional, we are under the law, legally can help the client save taxes. The law allow you to use this. If the law allow you to pay this tax, why you should have been pay more? Okay. So what they need to do is in the tax software, they allow this tax software, they do the most tax advantage math allowed it. So which I did. And in the left side, they did not. So it's not, or sometimes they, when they produce this tax return example, the tax software was not completely updated a lot. When then the tax advanced those qualified dividend calculation, their software was not updated. They are updating tax software each and everything. On the left side, as you can see, it's done it. Do you see the date? And I think they did it on this day, October 11. Probably by October 11, the tax software was not completely updated for 2023. So the answer is the right side we are doing is right. Okay. The client only need to pay this. They does not need to pay this. Not necessarily the person who prepared this example is wrong. It's just because the software by that time was not updated. Okay, but right now we're using the most updated version. But in your software, you have to choose. Or this example, they did not set up the most advanced choices election. They have to use that. Okay. Good catch. Okay. Any questions? Any questions to ask me for today's classes only? You can ask any question regarding about what we cover for today's, not outside of today's classes. No questions? You have to unmute yourself. If you have questions, you have to unmute yourself to ask questions. If no questions, let me give you a little bit bonus. Now, I'm changing now. Right now, on top of this person have a capital loss carryover, which means from the last year, okay? So now, if they have a loss carryover from 2022, so that could be short-term, that could be long-term in here. So when you input it, you have to make sure from the last year, Schedule D. Now, let's say they have all long-term of a total of 5,000 carryover. What that means is they still have extra 5,000 that have not been used. So in this situation, guess what is this 5,000 is going to use for? This 5,000 carryover is going to go to that this error message is going to be always there because this version of tax software is not having the state yet. So at this moment, I am going to show you Schedule D by David. This is what we was doing. And then do you see line 14? The line 14 say you have 5,000 losses from the year of 2022. You haven't used it. You offset this year's 5,000 minus 1,500. So you have 3,500 loss. The maximum you can use for this year is how much? Right now you have a net loss of 3,500. How much you can deduct it in 2022, 2023?
3,000.
Correct. So as you can see, line 7. Do you see line 7? You see the red flag here because it was 1,500 positive, right? Right now, negative. So therefore, as you said, do you remember we need to pay? The example say you need to pay 500 something. We need to pay like about 300 bucks, like 200 to 300 bucks. So now all of a sudden, we don't need to pay. We have 15 bucks. You can buy for lunch. So as you can see, that carryover is help you to decrease in the taxes. Now in this situation, for this client, in Schedule D, page 2, line 16, you get 3,500. From this number minus 3,000, that's you have 500. For you to prepare 2024 tax return for this person, how much is the carryover? How much the carryover?
500.
Yes, that's right. The 500 will be in the 2024 tax software, like here, 500 in the 2024 tax software. Very good. So delete this. Last call. Any questions?
I have a question. If you carry over, if last year he lost more than 3,000, and then for the 2023, you can put it for the 2022 there, right? The line 14.
Are you talking about carry back?
Yeah, you the bonus. You say if 2022 tax return, the client loss is more than 5,000. So, but for the 2022, you just only can do the 3,000.
No,
so
actually, no. Let's say this way. The carryover is coming from the 2022 tax software. Okay. Let me make this one. Let me make this one like this. The total different scenario. Let's say this one there's a 10,000 carryover from this. Now, assuming what you are going to watch in is the 2022 tax software, the tax return. Assuming what I'm going to show it to you is 2023 tax software for Schedule D. Let's say, assuming this is not 2023, this is 2022. Okay, so now you have this 8,500. So you have to minus 3,000, right? So what you need to put it in is 8,500 minus 3,000, which is equal to 5,500, and input it in your 2023, like here. Now, assuming what I just showed you, it was in the 2022 tax software. Right now, I'm in the 2023 tax software. I'm not confused you, right? I'm not confused everybody. I was showing you, even though I showing you in the 2023 tax software, but assuming that was in the 2022. So that way, grab this 3,500 carryover. So you put this carryover like here. You put the full amount of carryover in here. You don't do the you just minus 3,000. Other than that, you just dump everything in here.
Oh.
And then the software will help you to offset each other's. In this situation, for example, in this situation, do you think is there any carryover for next year? It's a tricky question. The carryover from 2022 is 3,500. So you gain of this carryover 3,500. You net of 2,000. You're going to minus full 2,000. There is no carryover for 2024. For 2,000, it's going to come here. Am I confused anybody, or am I making myself very clear? Okay. So, am I answering your question? Angela, am I answering your question? Am I answering your question? Do you clear?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, very good. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? If you have a question, you ask me. If you're done, I'm going to close these classes. Okay. So let me summarize what we have taught today. Okay. I remember what they say is we need to learn 4 things, right? We need to do W2, we need to do interest, we need to do dividend. Oops, sorry. That's fine. We don't really need to open that. So in here, it's very similar like last year. I'm gonna enlarge for you. So very similar like yesterday's example, except this is single. And then W2, we check everything. The interest is just a pure interest. And dividend, the two can, a dividend. If you input it wrong in here, your tax will be long. Okay. And then when you show the stock in here, because it's various, you need to identify it's long-term or short-term. And also in here, it's in tab 2, right here. You need to put in all this basic information in here. Now, if you know the day, for example, I know I bought this one in this. So I do not need to override this number. First, the software was smart enough to figure it out. For example, if this happened to bought it in one day, the software will figure out short term or long term. But if you know it for sure, you can put it in. It's a long term. Software pretty smart. Got it? Short term, it's a long term. They do it for you. Very smart. Okay, with that, I would like to say goodbye to everybody. Tomorrow, we're going to talk class number 3. So, good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Mhm.
Good night.
Yeah, good night. Good night.